Should we encourage our teenage kids to start investing before they start earning? If you're a parent of a teenager just like me, I'm sure you've been thinking about this. Our traditional wisdom has taught us, पहले पढ़ाई फिर कमाई. However, I see a lot of 16 to 20-year-old these days flaunting their investing and trading skills, and their parents give me a proverbial jibe. मेरा बेटा बेटी ट्रेडिंग और इन्वेस्टिंग से इतने पैसे कमा लेता है, आप कितना कमा लेते हो मैडम? I got very inquisitive after this jibe. This prompted me to ask myself, am I being too late in introducing my kids to investing? So we posed this question to a very prominent stock market personality, Mr. Deepak Shenoy, founder of Capitalmind, a Sebi registered portfolio manager and author of the book Moneywise. Here is Deepak's interesting way of how he is encouraging his kids to invest in stocks. So Deepak, do tell us have you started your kids into stock market investing?
Yes, so they get pocket money, but they tell me to invest it. I only invested in index funds.
Okay.
But it's done very well for them, so they're very happy with that kind of return.
So you find it is okay for kids. What age you think?
So I mean, of course, they don't know how to invest. So I invest on them, but then I give them a choice. Don't buy individual stocks. Just buy this thing. The problem in India is they don't allow stock market games that can allow kids to learn how to invest. So the NSE and Sebi, they frown upon such games because these games have been used for creating dabba trading frameworks. So the problem is that. But I think there is a lot of scope for kids to learn by experiencing it, but by not losing real money. Unfortunately, since those platforms don't exist in India, you have to use US-based platforms. We don't understand the US stock market so much. But my son went on such a platform and bought a bunch of stocks on Nvidia and Tesla, and saw that virtual amount being a lot, which is quite remarkable for him.
What age group is he in?
He's 17. The older one is 17.
So
the younger one is 12.
When did you start actually?
So I think I've been talking to them about this for about maybe 5 or 6 years now.
Yes, that's
but
10, 11,
they get interested after they're 12 or 13.
After the 12 or 13, that's it. But the other thing I wanted to ask is, like, as I mentioned, a lot of engineering students, so a lot of time is also getting invested. Like, I have a friend's daughter, who's in the engineering student, and they see a lot of kids are, instead of studying engineering, they're spending time on trading throughout the day. So, and I read in your book also, first few years of your life you should be, spending on the skills so that which you can capitalize on the later years that you have mentioned on the book. So where do you think, parents can really draw the line as to how much is enough, and like your kids, they must have seen you having discussions at home about, the markets and everything. So where do you draw the line?
So I would say the engineering framework. I'm an engineer myself.
Yes, I know.
I can tell you we have a lot of free time.
Yeah.
So to pass engineering, you don't need to study that much.
Yeah.
This idea of studying every day and all that stuff is anathema to me, and therefore, sometimes my kids also think that they don't have to study because
exactly.
My father never studied
That's
himself.
the point. Yeah.
But if you do want to learn, I don't think there's a better time in life than to learn when you're doing your college. Because that's how you learn. You lose small amounts of money, and you learn from those losses, and then you start making profits. If you can do this, even if it takes you 2, 3, 4, 5 hours, and it's an initial thing.
Yes.
Eventually, you have to. It can become an addiction, especially the futures and options crowd.
Yes.
So those I think you should avoid. But if you're doing like stock market buying, or if you're doing buying stocks and holding them for a longer term, I don't think that has that much work to do. And it may actually be building a life skill that's useful for you in the later years, whether as a trader or as an investor. I don't think that's a bad thing. But you have to distinguish between that and gambling. And so when you're doing it for the gambling, then it's a problem. When you're doing it for learning and investing, then it's okay.
Thanks a lot, Deepak. Thank you. To summarize, Deepak says investing is an important life skill. Sooner we teach our kids, the better it is. But make sure there is a line being drawn between investing and addiction. Happy investing and happy parenting.